All right, part two of creating a gasket for a Briggs and Stratton engine. Okay, so first off, we left off with a sketch and we had saved it in the last tutorial. So we're going to open up this sketch and get going. So we come over to sketches. Watch this. I can hide the sketch, bring it back. This is called the canvas. I can also hide that and bring it back. So I'm going to click. I'm going to get back into the sketch. Sometimes it's good to name the sketches, but because it's only one, we're not going to do that. And we're going to double click it and we're into the sketch. So what do we have to add? We're going to add this circle down here. Okay. So the circle is, when you stick a drill bit through there, happens to be 730 seconds. So we're going to grab a circle. We're just going to put it down here somewhere. Okay. And if these things are annoying you, the dimensions, we can just pull them out of the way, right? We'll actually do that right now. We're going to hit escape. Okay. And I'm going to pull this one farther out. I'm going to pull this one farther down. I'm going to pull this one farther down so we can kind of see where we're at. Okay, so that's better. So now we're into here. Okay, so what's the dimension away? Well, if we measure from here to the center of that, okay, and I'm going to put it right here, what you end up getting is 5/16. Nope, sorry, I measured wrong, 3/8. Okay, so 3/8 of an inch. Okay, we hit enter. That's the first spot. Then what we're going to do is go up. And when I measure from here to here, I get 1/4. So 1/4. So there's my first one in place. All right, now let's go to the second one. And again, what I'm going to do just to make it easier is I'm just going to take this, kind of pull it out of the, whoops, sorry, pull it out of the way, okay, just so we can help out or do our next one. So we'll put our circle again. I don't know how big it is, so I'll take a drill bit, stick it in, and it happens to be 3/16. Okay, and hit enter. And then what's our distance? Well, we might as well go from the bottom up to this one. So D for dimension, right? We'll go from the bottom to the center of this. Okay, and we come out here, click, and it happens to be 3/4 up. So 3/4. That's looking about right. If I look over here, yeah, that's looking about the right spot. And finally, it's not parallel to this one, it's set more over. So we're going to come from this edge to the center, and I've measured it out, and it is 5/16 to the center. Okay, and there you can see the offsets. You can see the offsets there. All right, that's those two done. Finally, one last circle or drill hole, whatever you want to call it, hole for a screw. And this one over here, that one happens to be 3/16 as well. So we hit 3/16. And let's dimension it off a spot. So where are we going to dimension from? D for dimension. And we're going to go from the edge here over. Okay, and that one happens to be 7/16. We do that. And finally, let's go from the top down. So from here to here, measured. Oh, that's a nice number. It happens to be 3/4. Kind of nice when things are all dimensioned nicely. Okay, and there's 3/4. So that finishes all of our holes. Okay, the only thing left is there's a little bit of a radius here and a radius there. It's called a fillet. So I'm just going to hide the dimensions just because it's easy to see stuff. Okay, and up here, this is called fillet. Under modify, you can come down, find fillet, right? And I'm going to take this here and this here. Ooh, that's way too big. So let's measure it out. It happens to be a 1/8 inch fillet. So we're going to 1/8 fillet. Okay, yeah, that looks pretty close to that. Okay, and then this one here, we're going to hit fillet, and from there to there. Okay, let's go with a 1/4, so 0.25. Okay, and there it's slightly rounded too. And if I actually take my hand and I flip the actual gasket, which I'm doing in my hand right now, it's not a point, it's just got a slight round to it. Okay, so there we go. So that finishes off, and you can see how the dimensions actually get hidden, right? So I'm going to bring the dimensions back. So there's all our dimensions, okay? But that's our gasket done. So what we do now is we go to Finish Sketch, okay? We save it because it's important to save, right? We hit OK. You'll notice that this now, when I bring back my data panel, is version 3 in a second. You can see the spinning wheel of death here, okay? And next thing you know, it flips to version 3 when it's saved, so we can always go back, right? And if you want to do the last thing to give it some texture or depth, what we do is we go to Extrude, okay? We pick anywhere in here, and then we're going to bring it up. And let's say that that gasket is 1/10 of an inch, or how about it's 1/16 of an inch thick. Okay, and we click OK. There in 3D now is our actual gasket. And finally, we save one last time. All right, that concludes this tutorial on making this fuel tank gasket. So now all we got to do is end up taking it out to a laser cutter or to a vinyl cutter and cutting the gasket actually out. And that will be a different tutorial.